So hi everyone, welcome to you all in my another video, and today I am going to discuss with Ahsan is his journey PharmD to PhD and what he did actually in his PharmD. He got 3 PhD offer. उन्होंने जो है मलेशिया में उनको PhD का ऑफर मिला, उनको जो है यूके में मिला और फिर उनको ऑस्ट्रेलिया में मिला। तो फाइनली उन्होंने जो ऑस्ट्रेलिया से PhD अभी कंप्लीट की है। नाउ ही इज़ डूइंग पोस्ट डॉक। तो अभी हम पूरा जो है A to Z इन्फॉर्मेशन लेंगे कि आप जो है अपनी एप्लीकेशन कैसे कर सकते हैं, और एप्लीकेशन से पहले आपको क्या करना चाहिए एज ए स्टूडेंट। व्हाट ही डिड बेसिकली कि आपको जो है PhD में एडिशन मिल जाए, वो भी फुल स्कॉलरशिप के साथ में, ताकि आप फ्री में पढ़ाई कर सकें किसी भी कंट्री में, फॉरेन कंट्री में जाकर। तो ये एक हर एक का ड्रीम होता है और आप में से बहुत सारे स्टूडेंट मेरे से पूछते रहते थे। तो आज हम बात कर रहे हैं एहसन के साथ में, और एहसन हमें बताएंगे कि उनकी पूरी जर्नी कैसी रही PharmD से PhD तक और PhD से पोस्ट डॉक तक। तो PharmD के बाद एहसन और मुझे दोनों को ही PhD मिल सकती है, तो आपको भी मिल सकती है। तो ये पूरा वीडियो देखिएगा शुरू से लेके एंड तक। तो चलिए अब वीडियो को शुरू करते हैं। एहसन विद अस। तो हाय एहसन।
Hi Akram, thank you so much for interviewing me today.
Actually, Ahsan is right now in Canada. He's doing postdoc and he just completed PhD in Australia. So can you please give us your brief introduction?
I am from Pakistan, as you told earlier. So I did my schooling from a small town in Punjab province. It's Bahawalpur. So my entire schooling and pharmacy education was from there. So we have a university, Islam University of Bahawalpur, from where I did my PharmD. So as you told, like PharmD is a undergrad program in Pakistan for 5 years. So I did that. So when I was doing that, I was really inspired by some people who were really active researchers in pharmacy practice, and there were some learners as well at that time. For example, you are one of those people, and Umar Khan, who was from Pakistan. So many people were at that time. I'm talking about 2015. So I saw some profiles and some people who were really active with research, so I got inspired. And luckily at that time, I was in, I think, 4th year of my PharmD, and some people came from USM, which is University Sains Malaysia. So they joined Islam University Bahawalpur. So I got an opportunity to work with one of them, and then work as a research assistant apart from my PharmD education. So during that time, I published some papers, which helped me get into PhD.
So, Ahsan he was in 4th year. He was looking, to what the other people are doing, So his dream is also that he can pursue his PhD from abroad. To what is the way? So he just got some people there. We are working in pharmacy practice because he's working interested in pharmacy practice and clinical pharmacy, So he do some research, but working as a assistant. He published some papers to get his scholarship. So once you complete your PharmD, what you did in Pakistan?
After finishing my PharmD, I work in a community pharmacy for some time. And immediately after that, I got an opportunity from Aga Khan University Hospital, which is Pakistan's very reputed hospital. They have a pharmacy system better than other hospitals. So I worked for some time there before starting my PhD.
So, in this, during this stage also, you are active in this research, or did you just left your research papers?
Actually, I was very active researcher when I was doing my PharmD, and there were some projects left that I carried on when I was working as a community pharmacist and hospital pharmacist. So I published some papers, but most of the papers were published during my PharmD education.
So, he was continuously like 4th year onward, 4th year, 5th year. And after that, he completed his PharmD. Again, he was doing a job in community pharmacy, hospital pharmacy. Simultaneously, he's doing his research, he's publishing papers because he wants to go to abroad to pursue his PhD, So that's how he is doing, So, can you give us some, some examples for the student, especially, they want to how they can approach, because the problem in our system, the people are very shy. They are just they are just doing degree. They are not very involving in research. Even they are doing a research project and they're just doing for the just like time pass, and just copy paste and just submit, So if you are looking at PhD in abroad, so you must be a very actively you are doing, basically you have to learn the process of research, So we can.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I would say like if someone wants to do a PhD anywhere, they should plan early on. It's not like finishing PhD, finishing PharmD or MPhil, and then they can immediately get PhD and scholarship anywhere, because no one is really willing to spend their money on you. You have to convince them somehow by showing evidence of something. For example, you have the potential to do research and you have evidence for that. For example, you have some papers. So you have to start working on early. And if you produce some output, to show potential, so you can start contacting people early. That's what I did. So when I was in a final year of my PharmD, I got consent from 2 or 3 supervisors to do PhD, but I didn't finish at that time. So I had to wait for some time and make my profile more stronger.
Yeah, because he's already, he was contacted to the supervisor. That's why this is the next question, is that how you contact the supervisor. So what is the way? This is the first step, basically, if you are looking at PhD. So you have to write an email to any supervisor, whatever in your field, whether he's in UK you want to pursue, or Australia or Canada, whatever is the country.
Um, it's like a very, for me, it was very straightforward process. So I looked into profile, very few people were working at that time that I knew. So what I did was I searched people's name on Google and different platforms, because everyone wants to go into English speaking countries because they have really good education system. So I filtered out some people who are very active in my field, and I wrote them some simple email and attached my CV with that. I told them, so this is what I have been doing so far, and I'm interested to do a PhD, and then it went forward from that time.
So before you apply, you are looking for this. Have you given any exam for IELTS or something?
Yes, I took IELTS, but that was after graduating from PharmD. So for me, it was very funny and unique experience. So what happened when I contacted some people, especially in Malaysia, that was a really famous researcher from Pakistan. And from Australia as well. So I contacted them for MPhil. I wrote an email because I thought maybe I cannot apply for PhD directly. So I approached them. I told them I want to apply for MPhil. And then here, story begins. So I applied, and I was told by university that we don't offer scholarship to MPhil, but based on your profile, you can apply for PhD. So that was a kind of shock for me, because I wasn't expecting it would be like that. But actually, the thing is, we don't know what these universities, especially in US and Australia and UK, they're looking for. They look that you have somewhat potential to do research, and they call it honors word. Honors is different from our country, like India and Pakistan, because we think that if our degree is of 4 years length or 5 years, then it's honors. But in actual, it's not honors, it's simple bachelor's degree. So honors is actually a research period, dedicated research period for a year or 2 years. So if you have that component, you qualify for PhD. So what we do back home, some people, they do MPhil, some people do another master's program, which has research component, they qualify for PhD. But if you don't have that, if you have research experience, you also qualify for that. So they have different streams on which you can qualify for getting admission into PhD.
So in very simple word in Hindi, और अगर आपने बैचलर डिग्री किया है, आप उसके बाद भी डायरेक्ट पीएचडी कर सकते हैं, मगर आपका जो है ना, आपके पहले से प्रोफाइल है, जो आपने कुछ रिसर्च किया है, कुछ पब्लिकेशन है, कुछ एविडेंस है, आपको मतलब सुपरवाइजर को आपको शो करना है कि मुझे आता है, मैं कर सकता हूँ, ना। तो ये वाला एटीट्यूड। तो अगर आपने बैचलर डिग्री किया है, इंडिया में 4 साल का बैचलर डिग्री होता है, तो उसमें क्या होता है, उसमें रिसर्च कंपोनेंट जो है, मेरे बी फॉर्म में कंपोनेंट था, मैंने भी किया था 6 मंथ का। मगर इंडिया का जो फार्मडी है, वहाँ कंपलसरी 1 साल की रिसर्च होती है ना, तो 1 साल का पूरा पीरियड एक रिसर्च पे दिया जाता है, रिसर्च प्रोजेक्ट के ऊपर। तो अगर आपने डायरेक्ट फार्मडी के बाद आप डायरेक्ट पीएचडी कर सकते हैं, मगर प्रॉब्लम ये है कि वो लोग देखते हैं कि अगर आपने कुछ एक्सपीरियंस लिया है, तो इफ यू आर वर्किंग एज असिस्टेंट, लाइक रिसर्च असिस्टेंट, रिसर्च एसोसिएट फॉर सम टाइम, और इन हॉस्पिटल यू हैव सम पब्लिकेशंस, मे बी यू आर वर्किंग एज ए lecturer in pharmacy school, that it will be a very good profile. So after your PharmD, if you have 1 year experience and you have some publications, definitely you can get PhD. Ahsan was because he don't know, he thought that I'm a bachelor degree holder, so I first go for master degree, then I can go for PhD. So because he have publications, then the university guy, they're saying you are qualified, directly you can enroll in the PhD. There is no need to go for MPhil, because the master degree there is no scholarship. I'm right?
Yeah, true. For masters, usually these countries, they don't offer any scholarship, but it's different again. Like if you talk about Canada or US, they have dedicated scholarship for master's program as well.
But it still is not like all the masters.
Exactly, exactly.
They might be give for few a master degree, might be sometimes they give like 50% waive, 25%, sometimes they give fully waive, so it's not compulsory. But in PhD, everyone is, they will give you 100% fee waiver, and they will give you the scholarship, so he also gave that the IELTS after he complete his degree, and before that he was looking at supervisor. Already he contacted some supervisors, and the supervisor advised him to go for English test, so that's how he got.
Yeah, true. So when I contacted different people, so I was told that I need to do IELTS exam. So I did IELTS, and I contacted, I mean, I will give you just 3 examples. So I applied to Monash University, Malaysia, and I got consent to apply for PhD from there. I contacted University of Sydney. They also given me consent. I applied to University of Queensland in Australia. They also given me consent, and University of Manchester in UK. So all of these universities, they were happy for me to apply, and I applied there, and luckily I got my scholarship at the University of Queensland fast. So I just pursued that and went to Australia to do my PhD.
Yes, the experience yet. Is there any difference when we are applying for UK or Australia or Malaysia, or the same process?
Well, more or less the process is similar. The first step is that you will contact any supervisor that you want to work with. So you convince them, you talk to them. Some people, they ask you for interview, I mean Skype or online interview. And after that, they give you consent. So that process is similar in most universities. And then you apply. And then you have some options, like within admission application, there is an option to apply for scholarship. They ask you, like, do you want to apply for scholarship? And if yes, which one? And your supervisors or potential supervisor are in better position to tell you which scholarship is good for you, and based on your profile they can guide you better on that. So almost all universities, they have some research funding, so it depends totally on the supervisor, but more or less process is similar everywhere.
So here very important point he raised here, कि आपको स्कॉलरशिप के लिए अलग से एप्लीकेशन नहीं करनी है। बहुत सारे लोग देखते हैं सर मैं स्कॉलरशिप ढूंढ रहा हूँ, मैं ये कर रहा हूँ, वो कर रहा हूँ। कोई जरूरत नहीं है। आप जस्ट एक सुपरवाइजर को ढूंढिए किसी भी यूनिवर्सिटी के अंदर, वो सुपरवाइजर आपको सीवी देख के, आपकी जो रिसर्च एक्सपीरियंस को देख के वो बता सकता है, उसको लगता है कि अगर आपको स्कॉलरशिप मिल सकती है तभी आपको रिप्लाई करेगा। बहुत सारे टाइम्स में क्या होता है, आप जब रिप्लाई नहीं आता है बहुत सारी जगह से, आपने 20 लोगों को अप्लाई किया, और हाँ एक और एडवाइस ये है, आप लोग ने एक यूनिवर्सिटी में एक ही बंदे को अप्लाई कॉन्टेक्ट करें और उसका वेट करें, फिर उसको एक रिमाइंडर भेजें। अगर उसने नहीं किया फिर आप दूसरे बंदे के पास जाए। ऐसा नहीं है कि आपने 5 प्रोफेसर को एक जगह भेज दिया, क्योंकि वो सारे लोग फ्रेंड होते हैं, वो दोस्त होते हैं, वो आपस में जानते हैं कि किसने कौन बच्चा कहाँ से क्या कर रहा है ना। तो आपको बस जब सुपरवाइजर ढूंढना है, फिर आपको उसने हाँ कर दिया, फिर वो जो है आपको एप्लीकेशन करवाएगा ऑनलाइन, और उसी के अंदर आपको वो स्कॉलरशिप पूछेगा, तो आपको बस टिक कर देना है कि आपको स्कॉलरशिप भी चाहिए, है ना। यूके में भी the same system?
Yeah, they have a same system in UK as well. Well, I will second your point that you mentioned here, that we should only contact one person. So what happens is staff, they usually have staff meetings at a university, so they meet. So most of the universities, I mean, for example, Australia and in UK, so they take two supervisors for PhD. So sometimes they discuss if they are interested in someone. So in staff meeting, they can ask another person, oh, I have got an email from a person, I like that profile. And that person says the same thing, right? Oh, I also got, and that is a negative gesture. That means you're not serious, you don't want to work with someone, and both of them, it's most likely that they will refuse your application. So don't do that. Just contact one person, wait for their reply, and if they don't reply or refuse, then contact another person. That I would recommend if you want to become successful in your PhD application.
So Ahsan got 3 offers basically. Then he joined university in Queensland in Australia. So how much a scholarship basically they are paying, and I'm also in Australia basically. So that's like more than enough to live and work. Even if you have family, small family, with your wife, if you even you have 1 or 2 kids, still you can manage to live, in that amount. So amount is enough. Even if you are a single, you can save some money like 8,000, maybe might be 7,000 to $1,000, monthly. So that's more than enough. आपका कैसा एक्सपीरियंस था ऐसा?
Yeah, it's true that they pay a lot of money. The major expense if you want to do a PhD in Australia, for example, is your fee, which is very huge, which ranges about 40 to 45,000 Australian dollars a year. So they pay that. On top of that, they pay you living expense, which is enough for a single person. It's more than enough actually, and you can live with a family, and you can save a little bit of money if you spend wisely. And then the another cost is your health insurance, which is also most of the time covered. So you don't really have to spend a lot
Yeah,
of money.
basically they cover all. They will cover your school, university, and the fees. They will monthly stipend, and they will also your airfare. Even they also like your insurance. Everything they mostly they cover all the scholarship. But some scholarship might be they are not covered, like insurance or something. So you have to see on that way. So what are the document you attach? When you are applied for PhD.
It was very simple. They just asked me to upload my CV. That's what I remember, and a research proposal
Yeah.
that was made in collaboration with supervisor. And
Yes,
then my
I was forgot in this one important point. When you are connected to your supervisor, supervisor might be ask you to write one research proposal in which area you want to work. So it's like 2-3 page you can make, like introduction, like background, then methodology, what you are going to do in your PhD. Those kind of things. So this is very very important. That's why they ask to us. They asked me to also, and the same. Yeah.
Yeah, but it varies from supervisor to supervisor. Some supervisor, they just want one pager, so that would be enough
Basically,
because they want to
basically,
see.
it is like mandatory from the university. So it just
Yes, exactly.
and it
Yeah.
is not necessary. Basically, you have to work on the same topic. You can change the topic. You can change.
Yeah, it changes with time because it progresses when with time when you're in PhD. So your topic gets changed and your objective change.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So and after that, you also applied for your visa. So, do you get any help from anyone, or you just from yourself?
No, I just submitted my visa myself. It's very handy application that they have
Yes.
in me. So anyone can fill that. So they don't have to pay money to some agents. But now I was talking to some new students. So they told me that universities, they have their own representative now. So they will fill application on your behalf. So you have to give them every document. That's what is happening in University of Queensland, but I'm not
You,
sure about other
this is
universities.
very good for the student, but
Yes.
those are from I know many students from India. They are just paying for the agent to file their application. It might be refused, this and that. So no need to worry. It's very simple. You can fill your own application. Myself also, I did my own application. Hassan also did his own applications.
Yes.
So Hassan, at the end, what is your advice to those are looking for PhD? They want to what they actually need to do. Especially if they are a student, what they need to do to get a scholarship.
I will reiterate my initial point that I mentioned earlier, that if you want to do something like that, you have to plan on early so that you are prepared enough to convince someone to do a PhD. And it's not just about convincing or contacting students, because what I have seen that many students, they contact you and they ask, okay, can you please apply on my behalf? Can you please make research proposal on my behalf? So that is never going to work, because even if you get admission, you won't be able to survive that, because they will find out somehow, even during your first interview, they will ask some tricky questions and you will fail. And even if you get admission, you will fail in initial year. So prepare yourself,
Yes, this is
get some
very
skills.
important. I will forget, there was some guy I know. He's from Pakistan. He got a scholarship. He joined PhD, and then after 1 year, he was unable to go for the second year. Then he go back because that's what he's saying. So you have very what you are doing basically is not like someone you are paying or you are getting some help to anyone else. So this is you have to learn basically in your PharmD.
Yes. So if someone prepares and then they publish their output in reputed journals, so that's enough, I guess. Then they can contact supervisor of their own interest with whom they want to do their PhD, and they will get it. So that's simple advice for everyone.
Yes. At the end, I'm just summarizing what he said. Initially, if you are looking at PhD in abroad, so it's very, very simple. If you have some research experience, you have some publication, you complete your degree, PharmD or M.Pharm or B.Pharm, So after that, you just go to any university website and find out their email or their contact. You just write the email. Writing an email very nicely. Write email. It's not like just one line, two line. Hey, I want to do PhD. Many email I receive basically like this. You have to write very nicely email like half pages. You have to write about yourself. You did this and that. You have some publications. And even you can write even your supervisor name, this and that. You are very interesting, very passionate to do your PhD. You want to upgrade yourself and you want to contribute something in this field. तो बहुत सारे कुछ मोटिवेटिव वर्ड लिखे उसके अंदर, उसको अच्छा लगेगा और फिर आपको वो रिप्लाई करेगा। वरना ऐसा होता है कि आप ईमेल करते हैं, सुपरवाइजर आपको रिप्लाई नहीं करता, कभी कभी कहते हैं उनको पास रिक्वायरमेंट नहीं होती, उनको लेना नहीं होता है। तो ऐसे इसके लिए क्या है कि आप जो है कोई सीनियर लेक्चरर है, एसोसिएट प्रोफेसर है, उसको कॉन्टेक्ट कीजिए, डेफिनेटली उसको बच्चे चाहिए होते हैं और वो आपको रिप्लाई करेंगे। तो आपको जस्ट सुपरवाइजर ढूंढना है, फिर आपको अपनी एप्लीकेशन खुद से कर देनी है और स्कॉलरशिप उसके जो है एडमिशन के साथ में खुद से जो है आपको एप्लीकेशन करनी होती है। जैसे आपको जस्ट एक आपको टिक करना होता है और ये सारा प्रोसेस आपको खुद कर सकते हैं, कोई भी जरूरत नहीं है। तो बहुत सारे लोग जो है आई थिंक आपने हमने जो है A to Z पूरे पॉइंट को कवर कर दिया है यहाँ पर। ओके देन अभी हम इसको खत्म करते हैं यहीं पे। एंड थैंक यू फॉर वाचिंग दिस वीडियो एंड इफ यू हैव एनी कमेंट, इफ यू हैव एनी क्वेश्चन, प्लीज लीव द कमेंट। So myself I will reply and Asna will also reply to your comment, and thank you for watching this video.
Thank you so much, Akram.